So what we're going to be doing today is pruning a hybrid tea rose. Now the key when you're pruning roses is to remove all the dead, dying, diseased wood first. So you can see down to the left here there are some dead branches that have just gone brown and dying back, and they'll get sort of cankered if we leave them. There's also one or two spindly branches, which you don't want. Spindly branches, you want something quite good and firm to take over from the older branches. What we're looking for is a nice goblet shape prune to an outward facing bud, and we'll be looking for a suitable height in which to take it down to. So what I'm going to do first is sort of just come back a little bit, have a look at the plant, try and read the plant, you know, which are going to be the 4 or 5 branches that you're going to keep, which are the ones you're going to discard, and then you can start. So what I'm going to do, I'm already looking at saying there's a nice branch there, that's still a good branch. There's a bit of structure over the far side, I can see a decent branch there, a decent one here, and one there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out the rest, and that'll just mean that I can have a better look at it and make a better assessment. So the first thing, read the plant, look for that nice goblet shape that you can prune the rose back to. So starting off, I'm just going to remove a bit of this dead wood. I'm going to chuck that in my bag, and we'll just start with that. Here's a crossing branch that's growing straight through the middle of the rose, so that will want to come out. I'm just going to prune it there to begin with. I'll probably end up pruning it a bit lower later. This is a bit spindly, it's not a good replacement branch, so we'll take that out. Bit of dye back on that, it's crossing into the plant, so we'll take that out. Dead piece there, take that out. Again, a spindly piece, take that out. Spindly piece growing through near the middle of the plant. We want good circulation throughout the plant. There's a sort of a piece coming here which is died back a bit. It's not a particularly strong branch. We'll take that out. We'll take this out. We'll take this spindly one out here, which is not a good strong replacement branch. And there's a bit of dye back on this one, and it's split into 2. So now, as you can see, I've got my 4 pieces that are going to form my framework. Now, with hybrid teas we can go right down to 6 to 8 inches, and with floribundas we can go about 8 to 12. So 6 to 8, 150 to 200 or so. But I actually don't mind leaving these a little bit bigger. So I'm going to prune them and leave them a little bit bigger, but we could go right down to here, and there is a little bit of a half circle on there with a bud on it. But I can see there's also a good bud here, so I'm going to prune at a slight angle there and cut it there. That's going to grow out here. So think of it as sculpting a rose, because wherever you prune to, that is where it's going to grow out. You know, if you prune to that direction, you'll have a branch going this way. So it's going to be a nice sculpted rose. Looking at this one, there is a bud there, but that's going to grow out that way, which is kind of okay. Just having a look, see if there's anything else. And I think we're going to have to go for that one. Going to cut it to there. And then on this one, there's one growing inward, which we don't want that, but there's an outward bud there, which will take that out towards that Dutzy Magician. This is not the best shoot in the world, but I might have to go a little bit harder here to get it to regenerate, and there's a decent shoot down here I can prune it to. So I'm going to go down there, which is a bit lower than the rest, but that will regenerate. And I'm just going to prune out that dead piece and now make a decision on whether to go a little bit further down or not. That one's going to be quite low. Just seeing what we've got here. We have got a shoot there which is going to be a good one, to regenerate, so we could go to that one. On the other side, again, there's a good one there which would regenerate nicely. And on this one, we haven't actually got one there apart from right down the bottom. Okay, so I have got a choice now whether to go down to that side. So if I really wanted to regenerate it, and there you are, I'm literally at the 150 to 200, 6 to 8 inch mark really. One there, I've got one there, and on this one I'm just going to prune back to that one there. And now that is really quite a strong rejuvenation pruning. I can do that with a rose because a rose flowers on the end of this season's growth, which means that it will grow up and the flowers will form on the end of the growth. So I'm not destroying any flower buds. But be careful when you do old-fashioned roses. You have to be a little bit more careful, and sometimes just removing a portion of the older wood, removing the old flower trusses on that particular one. Okay, but that's just pruning a kind of a hybrid tea, or if it was a floribunda, a little bit bigger.